Recently, Kenyans have become all too familiar with the term contempt of court, given the many legal battles witnessed in the country, aggravated by a widening political divide between the Jubilee administration and the opposition. The government introduced through Parliament the Act on Contempt of Court. The act has, however, been received with criticism by the human rights organization, while the government advocate for it.
At times, the people who are behind these orders or who are behind some of these cases are people who are looking to adversely affect the government. Now, again, you look at it from the point of view of human rights groups. They'd be like, look, the government has abused its power before, time and time again. And according to the doctrine of separation of powers, we need the judiciary to be able to check the excesses of the executive.
Contempt of court by state officers is not new in Kenya. Last week, for instance, Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet was sued contempt of court after failing to produce a suspect his juniors were holding in custody.
So what's to stop followers of the president from saying, even we don't respect the judiciary? And if the president can do away with court orders, or the IG or the DCI, and this is the government we elected, then we can also follow suit and say as citizens that we're not going to obey or follow the law. Now, what moral high ground would the government have to come and tell its people to follow the law?
The state officers ignoring court orders has been cited as a way of Kenya sliding into anarchy following the successful incidents of defying court orders.
Probably some work should be done there to ensure that the consequences are a bit more severe. For example, if you're a public office holder, if you act in contravention of court orders, you should be, or you should lose your position in government or be suspended for a particular period of time.
The government has been said to ignore the rule of law, given the recent example of shutting down 3 TV stations and the deportation of NRM General Miguna.
Are you telling me that the government is so oblivious that a foreigner can come and vie for a gubernatorial seat and not raise a question then, but now when he's when he comes out to the limelight specifically fighting the government, all of a sudden he's become a foreigner? It doesn't make sense. It's a bit hypocritical on their part.
The executive has been appearing to be in a tug of war with the judiciary despite the separation of powers, the push and pull, creating wrangles between the two arms. Enforcement of judicial orders cannot happen unless the 3 arms of government are working in sync.
Where we are right now, or the situation that we are right now, we seem to have a government that has decided, come what may, we are going to shut up anyone who tries to object or who tries to go against anything that we want to do or anything that we are saying. Now, the judiciary is coming out and saying, no, we're supposed to check you in the event where, one, you act against the law, secondly, you are acting in a manner that is detrimental to the citizens of this republic. So you have an organization that's working against itself.
Continuing tough wars will only cause instability in the country. The common mwananchi will be left to lose if the 3 arms of government decide to work against each other, even though they are called to work independently. Irene Mwangi, KUTV.